Good morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I hope you guys are having a great day. And welcome, Chord Academy, All Access, and our YouTube community. We are working on a new course, and it's called 15 Beautiful, Simply Beautiful Jazz Chords. Good to see you, Rick. 15 Simply Beautiful Jazz Chords. In this course, it's all based on one loop that takes you in a descending bass line over a 2-5 or a 2-5-1-6 or 2-5-3-6 chord progression. And the reason I had this idea for this course is not only do we need really simply beautiful voicings that don't repeat the notes. None of these voicings repeat. So the very first example in the loop does D minor with C major. How beautiful is that? And of course, if you rearrange that, even triads and different inversions, you create amazing sounds. Let me say hey to everyone really quickly. Doug, good to see you. Doug was my first YouTube subscriber in our new membership platform on YouTube. So Doug, good to see you. Vicky, good to see you. And Rick, who is an all access member as well as Vicky. Good morning to you guys. So we're going to pick up where we left off yesterday, but actually we're going to do a quick review of block 1, and then we're going to go to the end of the loop, and I'm going to show you guys some really cool things. And you're going to want to stay around to the end of this 30-minute lesson, because toward the end I'm going to show you guys the loop of the day, which is really cool. You're going to love it. Good to see you, Dad. Dad, back. Are you back in town yet? You're missing the sheet music window. All right. Rick is on me for that. All right, so let me put up some sheet music for everyone to see. That's right, Rick. I didn't put the sheet music up, did I? All right, we're gonna put back up block 1 because I think that's important. Just give me 1 second, everyone. Let's see if I can quickly get that up. Okay. And let me make this to where we can blow this up just a little bit. So the reason I created this course, we've been doing a whole lot of blues, and you know that jazz and blues work so well together, but also it's so good to get our jazz voicings down. And so the loop of the day is really cool jazz chords, but also we're digging into this course. I'm going to record and finish this course within the next 2 days. And in our All Access group and our Chord Academy, we've been going through all of these. But so this course, as we're doing this descending bass line, I'm trying to give you voicings that are really, really cool and really, really rich. But they have 5 notes. One of them has 6 notes, and this is the only one that has 6 notes. The rest of them are 5 notes. But it's what you can play over a 2-5, 1-6, or 3-6 that you can use in any situation in solo piano. So even as we're doing all these descending bass lines in the left hand and these nice chords in the right hand, it's going to give you a lot of tools and really open up your ear and your mind and get these voicings underneath or in your playing. So let's go ahead and let's look at this PDF from block 1. And just know that the focus on this lesson is going to be the very end of that. So I have some really cool voicings that I'm going to show you, and we're going to talk about the ending of the loop. And let me say hey to anyone else that I've missed. All right. And I would love somebody new just stopping by the YouTube channel to say hello as well. Things are really going well for us at iMusicAcademy. I've met so many people online of people who are enjoying what we're doing. So I appreciate everybody who's been getting the bundle. The bundle is no longer the $49 bundle. You can still get the bundle. It's like $59 or something like that. But that crazy deal we had is done, of all the blues volumes plus the new course. But I did do a new bundle that I'm going to release today. This is just for anybody who may be on the fence about some of my older courses, but they're not that old actually. We were kind of getting out of the older material, but I'm putting up a bundle today that is blues volumes, bass lines 1. So all the different crazy bass lines that we do. So it's like you could be doing this one idea and you have this. That bass line instead of this. We also have this. And the Ray Charles bass line. So 10 bass lines over one idea. That's a kind of a cool thing. I have the 20 tips for 5-minute practice success, beginning blues with shape 1, and the shapes course, all for $49. You guys seem to like that $49 bundle of just bundling everything together. So anybody that's looking to get some of the courses, that's a great way to do it, and that will be available this afternoon. Okay, now here we go. So as a reminder, you guys see the sheet music. And if anybody would like this sheet music, let me, I'm going to put up a share link in just a few minutes. And then all you have to do is say, hey, I'd like this PDF, and I will go, okay, that sounds good. And I have to approve it because these are tied down to our private stream folders. But here we go. D minor 11 to G 13. Now notice that this is our 6-note voicing. I do like to teach you guys in shapes, you guys know. So D minor with C major. Well, how do you find that? A minor triad, most people can find that, D, F, A. And then you think a whole step down and a C major triad. And with that, I could technically play that in all the inversions. And you guys know, I'm kind of teaching fast because I have a lot of material to cover. We do this every week. We go live for Chord Academy and our All Access group. But I'm just going to give you a couple of rapid-fire tips related to triads really quickly. Is that when we do our Gospel 101, where we're talking about the triads, everybody knows when you're doing these triads, they're so important to get our C triad, D minor. And it doesn't matter if you're doing blues or jazz. I want everybody to have these voicings like C major. I'm just going to hit an octave. That's D minor, right? Sounds awesome. Just those D minor. And I can think, sometimes I'll think, I like that sound right there, right? That's a C major, major 7 on that. And I'm always thinking of where I'm going next. Like maybe I go, listen to that C major in second inversion over that F. And then listen to this. All that is C major and D minor. So that brings us to this voicing right here, even this. How pretty is that? D minor with C major. And you can practice it, C major by itself and D minor, but I want you to get this voicing down. Now, this is important. If you're hanging out here and you're like, okay, yeah, I know shapes. This new course that's coming out, 15 beautiful voicings, has a scale reference. So everybody's going to be able to play and say your major scales. And I like for you guys to do C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. I want you to be able to think the same way going up and the same way going down. So when I'm playing my jazz gigs, and I had a gig last night, it was an amazing, fun gig. I had the best time. But whenever I'm doing that and I'm doing any kind of run or scale, I'm thinking C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. I'm not just thinking a shape there. Even though I want everybody to be able to say and think about your scales and licks and things going up the keyboard as well as down. If you understand that, put yes in the chat. Now, I have a special way that I teach this. This is something that I thought about a long time ago, and I think you'll really like the way I teach learning your scales in a descending fashion. And I don't mean just being able to play your scales going, but how to do C, B, A, G, F, E, D, C. So there's a specific way we'll get all 12 keys down. That's just an additional thing, because the reason I'm including the scales reference is because I'd like to teach you the shapes, but I also like for you to be able to go, oh, that's root of D major. D has 2 sharps, F sharp and C sharp. So you go root, flat third, 5th, flat 7, 9, and 11. Okay? Yeah, what's up, Vance, the poet who lets you know it? Good to see you as always. All right, so we've been spending some time on block 1 this week. The D minor 11, we're not going to spend much more time because we have to do the end of this voicing. But here's what I want you guys to know is these voicings are gold. Like this right here, even in its most simple form, what a beautiful way to play a simple voicing. Now, with these voicings, you can practice by going up and down, right? That's a great way we call sitting on a voicing, right? So it's minor triad, here we go, minor triad, there's that. But also we can do this, minor triad with my E flat major. Now, what if I did E flat in a whole step? Isn't that nice? What if I went down another? Just listening to the sound of that. So that's that idea. The next chord we're going to talk about is this G13. Now, the same thing applies. I want you to notice something in my right hand right here. I'm doing B, E, and A. That's a fourth voicing. B, C, D, E is 4 notes away, and E up to A is 4 notes away. A fourth voicing. This is one of the most important shapes I could teach you guys for your all keys playing. And just in general, this shape right here, and as I teach in the shapes course, for me, it's all about getting familiar with shapes through repetition. As we say, and Rick knows, we say at iMusicAcademy, repetition is your friend. And I truly believe that as I practice these things and I get familiar with these shapes, I can start going in half steps. But notice that when I do this second chord here, root of a G chord, the flat 7, the 3, the 13, and the 9, notice that when I go up and down in half steps, my hand is not really changing much, the shape of it, right? That's why I created the shapes course. Like, the shapes course at iMusicAcademy is lots of different licks that show you how everything fits under the hand. I can do this. Any kind of lick or phrase, usually if you're using the right kind of fingering, you can fit everything under the hand. And so that's why when I teach the spacing right here of G13, I'm thinking about this as one shape that's not really going to move much. I keep my hand open, and that's what I love to teach everyone as you're kind of finding out about what I like to do, and that is this. Even this is a shape. You have your octave spacing, and some people don't spend enough time with our octaves, getting the spacing of that. But also, if I say, all right, Vance, you have an octave. What about a major 7? How do you find the major 7 of your octave? Go down a half step. How do you find a whole step? The flat 7 is go down a whole step. So then that paired up with this shape right here is very nice. Now, in addition to sitting on this voicing and practicing this in half steps, I could also go whole steps. Now, isn't that nice? Isn't that nice where you go? That just going down whole steps is so nice. Yeah. All right, so let's keep moving on. The next one is E minor 7. Well, how do you build an E minor 7? Such an easy thing to do. All you have to do, it says G triad, and it's a second inversion, right? So to build this, you have root, flat 7, 3, flat 3, and 5. And notice even to make this, if you've just looked at that and you thought, man, that's not very exciting, that's an E minor 7. So if you say, what's a minor third away from E? 1, 2, 3 half steps, and I play a G in second inversion, that'll get you an E minor 7 every time. Your root and your G triad in any inversion, that's E minor 7 in its most basic form. Now at first you say that's not going to sound that great, but where is it going next? And it's going right there. This is the butter of this first block 1. Now, some of you are watching this and you're like, what in the world is block 1? So the reason we have block 1 is this idea of, if I have this loop and we start the loop right here, which is this whole chorus has a descending bass line. Ba da da da, even that. Ba da da. This E minor 7 by itself doesn't sound that great, and it's nothing fantastic. It does sound great, but it's nothing really fantastic about the voicing. It's very simple, but very beautiful. And then if I go here, that gives it context. Ba, da, da. And even our next chord is our D minor 7. So we have this going that to that. love to teach how you connect all of these together. So block 1 is a 4-note grouping of this entire loop. And that's what I want you guys to understand, is that in order to get all of this material together, you have to spend time on block 1. You have to get familiar with it. So what I did in this course, and I wish I would have pulled up the other. Let me pull up a different thing for you guys to look at, because let's see, I've been working hard on this course, but we have picture chords. Okay, so let me just show you this right here. So we're looking at block 1. Let me make sure you guys can see that. I'm delayed from what I'm looking at. Okay. Let's try that again. So this is just our working draft. But one of the things that I like about this block 1, let's say, and you say, all right, D minor 11, here's the chord. But there it is, root, flat 3, 5, and then I put a comma. A comma for me means left hand, right hand, and then your C triad in the right hand. Okay, so why would I show you that? Because I want you to be able to say for F minor, root, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 9, and 11. In addition to being able to take these shortcuts, right? All right, we will go to 8:35 today, just so everybody's clear. We always do a 30-minute lesson for Chord Academy and for our All Access group, and I usually go at least 5 minutes over. All right, let's keep going to the next part that I wanted to show you guys. So block 1 means simply we're breaking this entire course up into 4 different blocks as we go through the entire loop. Now, in addition to that, you guys you were looking at just block 1, but we have these picture chord diagrams that we've created, and I am so excited about this. We have people at iMusicAcademy who, some are really great readers and some have trouble reading and they just watch the videos. I love that, but I also want you to be able to have access to these chord diagrams that also just the picture chords. So know that in all of my courses moving forward, we're going to be doing these chord picture diagrams. So this here it is, D minor 11, G13, E minor 7, and A13 flat 9. Okay, so isn't that kind of exciting that we're doing that? So now you have the sheet music and the pictures. And if you like that, put that in the chat. Everybody say hey to Marla. Marla is an All Access member. She's one of our superstars at iMusicAcademy. Okay, so you guys, we're finishing up this recap of the first block. Now I want you to notice a couple things. Notice that I'm not just playing E minor 7. I'm giving it some flavor. I'm just rolling up. That's nice. And sometimes I like to do this. Everybody watches. This is kind of a gospel kind of thing that I think really works well. If I have a G triad, I'm actually hitting the the A to B, and I'm doing like at the same time I'm doing the roll up. And once again, if I have some simply beautiful chords and I go to something like this, on its own, that might feel like, oh, I don't know if I like that chord. I mentioned yesterday on our stream that I was teaching a young student who is a very, very talented young student, but I played that chord. I said, I want you to listen to this chord, and I played that. And I said, do you like that sound? He said, oh, I just don't like that sound. It's not for me. And then I said, all right, well, what about this? And I did this. And he was like, yeah, I like it. Yeah, so A to B, Rick says. So Rick, isn't that a subtle thing and so amazing the way that works? Yeah. I'm actually, Rick, on a side note for our iMusicAcademy family, is that I'm putting together some how to approach notes. Like, for instance, in the key of C, let's just say 3 up to 5, or up to the major 7, or up to 3. So how different ways to approach chord tones or things we're looking for. All right, now we're going to have to move on. Yeah, so Rick didn't even notice. Be honest with you, Rick, I didn't even know I was doing that either. And one day I was like, you know what? I do a lot of sliding. Even this D minor, everybody watch this. We have 12 people watching, and I'm super excited. So anybody who, since we have 12 people watching, I need to tell you that I'm going to put a link to this block 1, the simple version, because it's already in the Google Drive, and just say I'd like to get this PDF, and I will go, okay, I'm going to approve that. The reason I have to approve that is because it's in the private things for our Academy students, and I'll just hit I'll hit approve, and you'll enjoy that. But I want you to spend time on this block 1. Okay, so all right, so anyway, he noticed the left hand. Okay, so Rick, we're going to have to move on to the next thing, but I am really excited about that everybody's here and that you guys are working on block 1 and block 2. All right, so I've got to move into 2 things. You want to stay to the end because I'm going to show you the loop of the day that I did yesterday, and everybody seems to love it on Instagram, so I thought I would show you that loop and also the ending of this particular course. So this course that's coming out, 15 Simply Beautiful Jazz Voicings, has this at the end. We actually get to a point where we play a D minor 7 just for a second, and what is that again? A simple D minor 7 is going to have the root and an F chord in the right hand, so flat 3, 5, and flat 7, and then watch this. This chord is so good. Even this is our gospel, very basic idea, but isn't that such a beautiful I can hear that my my computer is popping. I can hear that sound. It's just because I think it's been on for a while. But isn't that such a nice sound of having that suspended? So that's our G with our flat 7, our 9, and our 11, and it just kind of helps set the tone for what's happening next, which is this. Listen to how nice, and Marla, these voicings right here, it puts the 10th, which is our money chord, right? Like these 10ths that we play. You don't have to have a big hand or a big reach to get a lot in your playing. I want everybody to know that. Like, just because somebody can reach 10ths and everything, you can get by without being able to reach 10ths. Let me give you an example. Like that's a C chord with the 10th in it, but watch this. For those of you who can play a 9th and put your thumb out, and you can put in the chat if this resonates with you. You can actually, like if let's do it on F. If I go F, C, and then G and A instead of just F, C, and A, you get the 10th, but you can use your thumb if you can stretch that out. And if that's too much for you, then just do it in your right hand as well. Everybody has a different hand shape, a different hand size, but you can always make things happen by doing things like this, where you do that, or maybe you play it in both hands. And there are people out there with really small hands that know how to do even the roll, where they roll it so nicely that, and you can use the pedal, of course, as well, to really get around those 10ths. The reason I'm telling you all about 10ths right now is because we end this loop like this. Marla, that's impressive. That you're working. Yeah, what I always tell everybody about things like 10ths and everything is don't hurt your hand in any way. When you're stretching out your hand, everybody needs to know that you spend time doing that a little bit, but then go back to a closed position, because you will wear out your hand if you're I want to make sure everybody's, if you're doing some big stretches, make sure you rest and go back to the other, and don't overdo it. Is the bottom line. Okay, now watch this. But isn't this nice? Everybody put this in the chat if you agree with that. That gets your 10th, that gets the beautiful sound, and it gets your melody note. So the end of this loop goes here. It goes D minor for a second, and then it goes G13 sus 4. And it goes here, D flat, A flat, F, major 7 to this. Everybody say hey to Hugh. Good to see you, Hugh. Hugh is a member. Hugh is one of my, what I call a double dipper. And we have a few of those at iMusicAcademy, where not only are they an all access member, but he's a double dipper. He's also a member of Chord Academy, which he doesn't have to be. He just does it because when you're an all access member, you get Chord Academy. But Hugh is awesome, and I always appreciate everybody's support. It means a lot to me. Okay, here we go, guys. Listen how nice that is. Marla, and if you agree with me, put that in the chat, because this is what I want you guys to practice. Yeah, isn't that nice? And I'm going to give you the loop in just a minute. We still have a little bit of time. Okay, so the end of the course, it does a few different 2, 2, 5, 1, 6, or 3, 6, and then it gets to a point where it's a simple D minor 7. And it goes to the G13, sus 4, and it does this. And even that, if you want, you can just arpeggiate that, right? Yeah, Marla says beautiful. Because it really is, and what I would love for everyone to do is to practice that as an exercise. Even if you can reach tenths, practice playing it in both hands. I do things like this. Now, you hear even that. I think I was playing maybe Misty last night, and I had a little introduction. I was playing a duo with somebody, and I did. Now, you hear what that is? That's your tenth in there, and I go. And so no need to like try to kill your hand or try to overstretch it to get something like that. Isn't that a beautiful sound? Okay, now we're going to wind this up by, I'll teach you one more loop. Any question? What questions do you have regarding the course? This goes out to anybody. Let me just give you a quick overview of what to expect. And I said what I said about block 1. If anybody would like to have the easy, not the easy version, but the simple version of block 1 that has this, and this, just let me put the link in there in about 5 minutes. Actually, let me go ahead and do it now. Let's just do this. I love iMusicAcademy because we have an amazing group here, and I love when people practice. All right, so I'm going to look for, and there's a scales section, a scale reference thing that I'm excited about. Let me just go here, My Drive, and let me look at Simply Beautiful Jazz Chords. I've been wanting to do this course for a while. All right, there's chord block 1. All right, let me just do this. Let me do a copy of this. Wait, where do I do that? Make a copy. I just right click. Maybe? Oh, here we go. Oh, I know why. Oh, those are the separate ones. Okay, one second. That's why. Make a copy. I was trying to copy a whole folder. Okay, let me put this in my home. Let me see where it put it. Okay, let me move this. Man, a lot of things you have to do to get this stuff. We're going to go to My Drive. Okay, here we go. Now, let me just click on this. I got to go to my recents. And I'm going to share this. Share the link. I'm going to make it. All right, here we go. Okay, and I'll put block 1, request block 1 for the sheet music. Here we go. And here's your link. And and I'll hit save, and I'll go back to where I can see you guys. And we're going to wind up with this awesome loop. But I want to tell you quickly about this course coming out. All right, so it's in there now. Anybody who wants that PDF, and I would love to give that to you. So just simply click the link, and it'll tell me, hey, so-and-so wants this, and I'll be like, boom, there you go. All right, so in this course, I am literally finishing. I've created all the material, and now it's just recording the lesson. And inside the course, you're going to have this 2 loops. It's the same loop, but it's played 2 different ways, and then it's in 4 different sections. And we're working on 1 section at a time, kind of like what we did this morning. I want you guys to spend time in this block 1, and then you have under that you have your chord pictures. Then you have your chord formulas. So root, flat 3, 5, flat 7, 9, and 11, so that you can transpose this to different keys. So the goal of this course is to teach you these beautiful jazz voicings that you can use in any key and any situation. Okay, that's the main goal. And then you're going to also have a scale reference that shows you every single chord. Every single scale, and also some fun things related to that, and scale fingerings and all that. I'm huge into fingerings. If those of you who have been hanging out with me, I do have a classical background, and I also have what I call a down-home background as well. So we do Ray Charles kinds of things as well. So you're usually 1 or 2 fingerings away from being able to play something in all keys. All right, here's the loop of the day. So look for that in the store. And since we have 14 people watching, I want you to know this. I do very much appreciate those of you who invested in that bundle that we just did this last week. It was Get the New Course, which I have the new course, 15 Sweet Licks, which is an amazing course. I love it. And several of you got the bundle. It was my old courses, which I kind of, the technology has changed a lot, but this content is still really, really good. So I bundled it all together, and several of you got it for $49. I think you can still get it for $59 or something like that. But thank you for everyone getting that bundle. I'm doing another bundle this weekend, and the bundle is this: the blues bass line course over this. So it's 10 bass lines, different bass lines over 1 chord. Then we have our shapes course, the beginning blues with shape 1, and the 20 tips for 5-minute practice success, which has a lot of that Ray Charles things in there. So I'm doing that as well. It'll be a $49 bundle again. Several of you have been taking me up on that, and I really appreciate the support, the financial support, because we're doing a lot of new things at iMusicAcademy. But I also, more than anything, love that you guys are getting the material. So thank you for that. Look for that this afternoon. But right now, here's your loop of the day that we're going to close out. So I did this on my Instagram channel. Several of you know that I have a kind of a popular little channel on Instagram called Jazz Piano Studio. Somebody write that in the chat. But here's the loop I did. C up to E flat, up to A flat, to D flat. And I'm going to talk about it here in just a minute. It was like... the last time, so it repeats several times, and we'll talk about it in a second, but the last time it goes C, A minor, 9, and then it goes A flat with the sharp 11, and then it ends with a F minor 6 chord. Okay, so it's like... talk about it in just a second. So what's happening here is in jazz, you have lots of different chord progressions. Like you have 1, 6, 2, 5, but sometimes you do things like this. Root up to the flat third of whatever key you're in, and then the flat 6 is such a nice sound. So A flat. So even if I'm doing anything in this, I'm thinking C major here, and then I'm thinking E flat major, and then I'm thinking A flat major. And listen to that. If I'm thinking E flat major over this A flat, it gives that nice sharp 11. So you had this. Now watch this. F minor 6 is kind of a nice sound over that. Kind of classical-ish, isn't it? And my melody notes, I love the sound of over D flat. Part of the reason I'm showing you, we just talked about this, Marlo, if you're still here, we did this D flat major 7 to C, right? So even this, you get this nice melody of C, and then watch this. To the sharp 11 of D flat major. Isn't that a beautiful sound? And the last time it does this. I like that at the very end. A minor 9, sharp 11, F minor 9. Is that weird or what? And nice. There's C major. Let me show you guys something really easy and really kind of cool that I just did there. So if I do this C to E flat, and then I go A flat right here, and I could go up to B flat, but I want to show you something. You see this interval right here, C up to F to B flat? That's my interval of the fourths that we just talked about. Like this same interval, same thing over and over. Over and over. Yeah, so you have this. And I'm just thinking about that fourth interval. So watch this, really important. I just told you in jazz, especially, you can do these things like 1, instead of, I'll do a 1, 2, 3, 5 pattern really quickly. So 1, 2, 3, 5, you go 6 and 2 and 5, right? I could go. But you can also do what you guys hear all the time of people going this up to E flat, to A flat, and to D flat. Now, Lady Bird, the song Lady Bird has that change. And that's kind of a jazz turnaround that people do all the time. Root up a minor third, and then you go up a fourth, and you go up another fourth, and it sets you up nicely to do this. So you have that. Let's try that again. Okay, let's end up by me playing it a couple more times. I have one more tip, is this. Sometimes, that's right, Rick, C, E flat, A flat, D flat. Sometimes I think like a guitar player. I also play guitar and I think. See what I did there? I just kind of, I hit the bottom notes and the top notes. And then I'm A flat. and here. So from an improv standpoint, I can think C major, I can think E flat major, right? I can think E flat major over that A flat. I'm just playing the scale just so you hear it. I can't get up here because of the stand in the way. But E flat major, right? E flat major or pentatonic or A flat and then E flat and then even B flat. Listen to that. And then I go back to C major. Perfect fourth. All right, enough silliness now. Yeah, have fun with that. C, E flat, A flat, B flat. And get that sharp 11 in there. All right, you have 30 seconds to say goodbye to each other, something we do every week, every lesson at iMusicAcademy. Say goodbye. I'm looking for somebody that maybe is going to tune in that hasn't said hello yet. Does my all access group want me to write that out? I know I shouldn't even say that out loud. Hey, Doug, this is just the bonus section, just so we're clear. Yeah, Doug, this is not over your pay grade right here. I'm gonna do it again. This is what we actually started with today. I want to say thank you to, I'm going to give my shout outs, but thank you for liking this video. And those of you who have been leaving reviews on the content, I asked you to do that, to go to iMusicAcademy.com and leave your reviews. Shout out to, I think it was Doug that left a review. So thank you for doing that. Doug, that was awesome. All right, here we go. Shout out to Rick again, to Vicky, to Doug, to James, to T-Man, to Dad. You got, let's see, Rick, you got Vance in the house. We have, let's see, who else? Marla checked in, and Hugh checked in and checked out, I think. No, he hasn't checked out yet. Awesome. Oh, yeah, he did. All right, guys. What's up, Jeffrey? Good to see you. Jeffrey, the most consistent man at iMusicAcademy. All right, guys, have a great day. I'm going to be filming. I say filming. I don't even know what you say anymore. I'm going to be recording all this stuff. It was rough, but you did it? Okay. Take block 1. Thank you again to everybody who has been getting my courses, the bundles and everything. Look for the new bundle today. You're going to want to get this one. 4 courses, $49, and it has the Ray Charles stuff. What to do if you only have 5 minutes of practice time. And I absolutely love this course. One of my favorite courses in there. All right, guys, have a good one.